Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today I want to share with you guys a recent pickup of mine, which is this 1860 New Orleans seated dollar for my 19th century typeset. And I wanted to take some time and talk about the series and sort of compare it to the Morgan series, which I'm sure we're all a lot more familiar with, and just get a kind of an overall idea of how tough this series is and how few survivors there are, and how hard it would be to collect these, you know, more than just maybe getting one here and there for like a typeset or something. So what I have here, the 1860 O is the most common seated dollar to find in mint state. There are roughly 1,200 survivors in MS60 or higher. The 1860 O was most likely intended for export from the port of New Orleans. And so a lot of these did end up out of country. It can be found in all grades from fine all the way up to mint state 65 or so, but those are pretty tough to find, and it was a hoard coin. So a lot of these, I believe 6,000 were released by the Treasury in the one batch in the 50s and another one in the 60s. But a lot of those were circulated too. So maybe 800 or 900 of those were uncirculated. The 1860 typically comes really heavily bag marked. We'll zoom in a little bit here. This example, I really liked it a lot because with these coins, it is super hard to find one that's that doesn't have some sort of issue with it. That a lot of them are lightly cleaned, sometimes even heavily cleaned, and they still end up in straight grade holders. And this one, I think, has a really nice look to it. It does have, you know, you can tell it wasn't a bag. It's lots of little hairlines on it going in different directions. But overall, real pleasing look to it. No weak spots, no big carbon spots really. And to me, this coin doesn't look like it had been cleaned. So that was really important when I was searching for one. This coin earned the nickname the Quaker Oats dollar because it looked like it had been, typically most of them look like they had been shot with a shotgun, is how it was described. And most of the uncirculated ones will be right around MS60. And even once you get up into 62, it starts getting quite a bit tougher. It's believed that no coins above MS63 were found in the Treasury hoard release. So those few examples that are 64 and above, those are most likely were held back by collectors back in the day. And that's the only way that the few that survived in gem condition were able to make it. The characteristics of this coin is usually really well struck with satiny rather than frosty luster. And I would say that that's the case. This coin is not super frosty, but you do have sort of a nice, even satin look to it with the luster and the way it flows, but it's not frosty like you would see with the Carson City Morgan. While I'm talking about it, I'm going to take a little bit of time and just kind of show you guys some other things. I got these really cool sterling silver spoons. I like to collect these. Some of them got some really nice toning on them. But so comparing this to the Morgan dollar, comparing the seated dollar. So there are only two Morgan dollars that have a lower survival rate in mint state than the most common seated dollar, and that would be the 1893S and the 1895 O. And I believe the 93S has 123 survive in mint state, and the 95 O has 718 survive in mint state, while the The 1860, that was 1200 that survived the mint state. This is more rare than a bunch of the key date Morgans. The 79cc has 5,600 survivors in MS60. The 80cc, which is considered a key date, is 222,000 that survive in mint state. The 86.0 is 19,000 that survive in mint state. The 89cc, one of the key dates, the 89 has 4,250. The 93cc is 26,000. And then we'll take a look at the overall survival rate of the seeded dollar versus the Morgan dollar. And so there was an original mintage of 650,000 Morgans, and 275 million Morgans survived to this day, roughly 42%. And the seeded dollar has an original mintage of 6,448,000, so about 1% as many were minted. So 6 million versus 650 million. And there are only 82,000 seeded dollars that survive, or about 1.3%. So for every seeded dollar that's out there, there are 3,347 Morgan dollars. That's how much more common it is. And that's why the series is so tough. And we can even compare the most common seeded dollar, which has 10,000 survivors, versus the least common Morgan, which is the 93S, has a total number of survivors of 29,000. So the 93S is 3 times more common if you go just across all grades than the seeded dollar. So just kind of some interesting facts. That's probably would explain why it took me so long to find a nice example. And they are very expensive. Even doesn't matter the date, really. I mean, any of them mint state, even the easiest one, you know, it's a $3,000 coin. But I'm very happy to finally knock that one out. This spoon has some really cool rainbow on it. New York City. This is probably, if I had to guess, it's probably from the 30s or something. Maybe from like a state fair or something like that. Beautiful rainbow on it. I think I got one more here. I think these are all 3 from New York, if I recall. This one, Niagara Falls. Got some cool blue toning. So yeah, the seeded dollar is very, very tough. In all dates, all grades, you name it. And so if you do find a nice example, one of my tips would be to look for ones that don't have any cleaning, don't have dark spots. It will be a tough search. You'll have to pay up for a nice one. But yeah, you will see a lot of them in straight grade holders that just look like crap. So you really got to cherry pick them. I've seen a lot of cleaned ones and straight graded holders. I think that they're so tough. I think the grading companies are just really generous on them because of that. They're the same way on some other series too, like early bust dollars and early copper. They're kind of generous on the cleaning. They allow a little bit more to go through. So just keep that in mind if you're ever searching for one. This is a short snorter I just picked up on eBay. Pretty cool. I think there's about 15 different signatures on here. One of these days I'd like to research all these guys and try to put some provenance to this piece. I think all the signatures are on the front. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Have a good rest of your day.